I think there's like difference between like our parents' generation and our generation. I'm in that age range, so
Right.
like the '90s, coming up to the '90s, was where they feel like there's for is disrespect now. Because when they were coming up as kids, you couldn't talk back. I think now that we showing some type of we speaking up, expressing ourselves, it's looked at as far as disrespect. And also, it's like this generation is moving so more towards breaking those curses with their children that's coming up in the world.
Right. I always felt like, in my heart, my spirit, that how I was being treated was never something that should have been happening. That was my personal opinion. I felt like more of a slave than a child, So I felt very strongly about it. And I did rebel against that because I'm a human too. And I try to when I have friends that are, parents, or I try to offer them a perspective from like a child's perspective. And then for me I'm 27 now. So I can offer a different perspective just based off of what I've been through, what I've seen, what I've had the pleasure of even seeing just from growing up. I was homeless, hopping from house to house, having people take me in because my mom was kicking me out, or we was going through shit in the house, and I didn't have family. I didn't have an auntie that I could go to. I didn't have a cousin I could go to. I didn't have a grandma, a granddad. I didn't have none of that. My mom, me, my brothers. That's all I ever had. So it's like when you're rebelling and your mom kicks you out and you don't know where the fuck you're going, it's just like somebody's going to take you in, and now you have to learn how their family familiar structure works. You get to see how they operate. You get to see how they operate. And I feel like, despite the fact that it wasn't an ideal situation, I got to learn just like the different ways of parenting, how some people do things, how other people do things, and then seeing them get older and their kids grow up and seeing how their kids turned out. So I think it's pretty cool, I guess. I don't know.
You don't have any children, do you?
0. Yeah.
Do you plan on having children in the future?
I want kids. I definitely want kids. I mean, I want to. And that's it. If I actually meet somebody that's worth having a child, that's another strong standpoint that I have. I feel like if the nigga's not worth it, don't have that nigga baby.
What makes a man worth it?
How he treats you. How he treats you, and does he have the capacity to lead you, or your son, or your daughter? I think those are important things to think about when you're going into these relationships with these people. And I feel very strongly about that, just based off of tons of variables. But for the simple fact that a lot of people don't know the people that they having kids with. And that's why a lot of weird shit is going on in this fucking world. And I watch a lot of like true crime shit. I watch a lot of like interrogations and interviews of like all kinds of fucking weirdos, like serial killers, child molesters, like murderers, like all of that. And just listening to everybody and their backstories and all of that, I just feel like, bro, watch who y'all having kids.
You gotta really not just the person, you get to know their family.
The family.
That tells you a lot about them. Without them really saying it, not too much. You
without them saying
it,
yeah. Yes. But at the same time, you can still be your own person. So I'm not gonna solely judge you based off your family. But what you're saying,
I'm saying like
I understand what you're saying because I dated a guy one time, and I'm like, oh, he completely lacks discipline in like so many areas. And then I realized, I got to know his mom and his dad, and I'm like, oh, that's why you like that.
Yeah.
It's like
something that's programmed in them.
Yeah.
You can see